Okay, today we got a catastrophe to deal with. Like a genuine cat ass trophy, the real deal here. So, let me attempt to show the result of the catastrophe, and then we can work on what to yeah what just what. So if I go to Ennuicast's test page, doesn't actually matter what recordings I have here. That's not what I'm trying to demonstrate. When I create a recording, it creates it at the domain, well, for the testing server, it's r.kahat.ecastr.com. But for real full on WeCaster, I have a domain wecad.st that's, just meant to be like a short abbreviated URL. And when we go to download, the server and the client have to communicate with each other. But due to that is not typing. But due to storage partitioning, that is now completely impossible. So it just has to be on a single origin, period. And to hell with all legitimate uses of this, such as my own, it just has to be on a single origin, and that's all there is to it. So I have to, emergency maintenance change how Ennuicastr works to handle or not even to handle, just to put it all on one domain while also preserving that old domain and all of the old links. So yeah, it's gonna be hell, and I'm not actually sure if I'm gonna be done in an hour. Hooray! I'm slightly angry only because I feel like the way that they implemented it was not well thought out. So I think if I, for example, say location /r, this is still on the testing server, so I'm not going to cause myself too many issues. And the actual recording system requires cross-origin isolation, so I'm going to copy that as well. And in this case, there is no, actual cross-origin issues. This just has to do with, threading. Okay, so that is the correct directory. Now, I don't know if I need to say /r/ or what. We're about to find out. .404. That's kind of bad. Let's see here. What if I make it specifically a directory? What if I make sure that the directory actually exists, even if it is empty? The hell? Is this the wrong kahat.ecastr.com? Oh, maybe this is, well, I was going to say maybe this is only the specific location /r, but if it was, then this would still work, I think. I actually have no idea if that would still work. So step one, can I even get the... So I was going to see if I could get the client onto a different site and then worry about all of the steps to get it actually working on that site, but was not anticipating that I would really fall at the first hurdle. Would it be an error log? Nginx. I mean, yeah, all I've got is no such file or directory. Oh, slash. Oh. Oh, I see. Oh, that's funny, because that's the root. Okay, we're gonna... This is emergency maintenance, so we're gonna do this kind of doofusy. me just symlink that there. What the hell? What am I doing? Sites enabled default. I shouldn't actually need this anymore because they will be in the correct place. Forbidden, to be honest, is not quite what I was expecting there. I wasn't expecting it to work, but I was expecting it to be a local error, not a server error. Directory index. Why would it be an index? Oh, that... Lol, because I had already I had already made the R directory, so I just linked that into it rather than making that link. Okay, so that's actually what we expect, because if you just try to visit it without actually doing a recording, it'll just leave. It just doesn't want anything to do with you. Now I'm expecting various degrees of failure when I attempt to actually load it. You know what? Let's just not have the cloud login screwing things up at the time. That's fine. So if I do this URL now, so far it's not completely busted. Why is this happening at all? This is probably an unrelated issue, but, you know, that doesn't make it okay. Why would it be updating the video UI when it hasn't even loaded any UI yet? Oh, nah. My setting a breakpoint isn't going to work because it generates a random name to make sure it's not caching. Well, in spite of everything, that's not actually a problem worthy of diagnosing right now, because if it's happening here, then nothing is happening at all. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, this I expected. This I did not expect. This I'm a little bit confused by. This, I guess, could be related to this. Like, if it can't get a RT on Wii connection, maybe it's just doing something rather silly. Okay, let's get RT on Wii working and then work backwards from there. RT on Wii is the actual live chat system underlying it. Thinking. No longer need to be root. Okay, so the way that server works, what I need is here in this, in the default. That's not in the panel, but it's going to be in the sort of weird place. A weird place I should have paid attention to and, like, written down, but I didn't because I'm an imbecile. Or if not written down, at least, like, remembered. Whee! Now it's unhappy far more often. I wonder if this is a shared memory problem. I hope not. R, RT on Wii, WS, fine. Fine. R, RT on Wii, WS. That makes, in fact, rec, client, RT on Wii, W, yeah, there it is, okay. theoretically, that should be all that's necessary to put it in place. Like, it is just a file system-based thing. It just checks whether there is a client to handle that. Really gonna hope all those errors were related to not being able to connect to RT on Wii. Like, something just didn't... Nope. No and no. Now, I've actually disconnected the other one, so let me go ahead and join in and see if I can hear myself. Oh yeah, canceling that doesn't actually work. There's another bug to fix. Or canceling that, yeah. You know what? Let me. Okay, this is I'm fighting two unrelated problems here, and it's causing me agitation. So let's just have a non-video recording version, so I'm at least not fighting that side of it. Now, so there's the host, and if I join with the other URL, RT on Wii, it might even work, because it is the same actual server. Testing, testing. Yeah, I'm hearing nothing. So it is working on... Oh, of course, because I don't have the cores policy on this. Yeah, because I was going to put that cores policy under the location. But okay, I can still put the cores policy under the location. There's no reason why not. I hate this stuff. This is not, like... This isn't... Not only is this not programming, this is not even, like, the cleverer side of, like, maintenance. This is just, like, try to guess what's wrong. Okay, so I still want this location R directive. I just only want these headers rather than anything else. Unfortunately, cross-origin isolation for the entire project is unlikely to work, just because there's too many sort of third-party things. Really? I mean, I guess it's possible that... Okay. There's probably some caching thing going on, and it just didn't actually get cross-origin isolated. Let me see if I can verify that one way or the other. Network, I suppose. Well, no, false. Even with just invalid key, I should at least be cross-origin isolated. Can I get the network connection that... Yeah. Response header... Okay, so it didn't send. Does this not work, or is this... is there more to an Nginx look? Like, is this only for the exact location /r? Like, maybe I need to do /r/star or something. Location... directive. I don't want to use a regular expression for a simple location like this. So equals is for an exact URL. This does have the slash on the end. I wonder if the slash on the end matters. Unfortunately, because this is a tutorial, it's garbage. But let's see. I wouldn't be that surprised if the slash on the end is mandatory, just to indicate that you are talking about a directory and all of its subdirectories. No. That's very strange. Could there be an ordering issue? No, because these ones work. I remember to reload? No. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's actually check whether the slash on the end is mandatory. This is also truly strange. What do you mean you're fetching a cross-site request? I just refreshed the page. It's a user request. Yeah, now it's a user request. I guess because the previous version of it was still in the refer, it was considering it cross-site, which is the entire problem I'm trying to solve. Now, why isn't this working? Can you not have per subdirectory? You know what? Okay, let's get a little bit wackadoo here. If it starts with /r/. Actually use a regular expression just to see if I can make it function at all. Okay, so it does work with a regular expression, which suggests that oh, you know what? I wonder if it is actually because it's a symlink. And so the location is being affected by the fact that it's being linked else. I don't know why that would be. The location should always be the user location, like what the user requested. I mean, it does, yeah, like, it uses regular expressions for types, like I'm using here. So it's not ridiculous, but, you know what, I have enough concerns without also concerning myself with Nginx being weird. So I'm just going to check whether I can get rid of the escape characters. And if I can, which I can, then we will test whether that is adequate cross-origin isolation for the client to work. What? Shit. What? What is happening? Everything that I'm seeing is madness. It's downloading it instead of... And also, what are these names? I'm going to assume that... Why downloading? I've caused madness that I cannot explain. This is the actual code. It's not running... Oh, these don't stack. Right, okay. So this... This is applying, but this isn't, because they don't stack. No, wait, this isn't applying, but this is, because they don't stack. So it might even be that location /r was working, and it's just that there's some weird priority between, like, between regex and else. So right now, what I'm getting is this, not this. Can I nest locations? So can I do something ridiculous like this and say, yeah, but I actually still want .jss files to work, you absolute turd? It didn't refuse it. Okay. Again, like, what I've just done is a crime, but I desperately need to get this working so I can sort out everything that's a horrible mess after I get it working. Still doesn't seem very happy. Is it possible that it, like, loaded without cores still, just because of, like, a old load, or... No, it doesn't... I don't see anything there that would explain what's going on. Okay, images URLs are wrong. That's annoying. I'm getting, like, no errors, no explanation for this not working. It just is like, it just doesn't feel like working. Let me check if it's actually anything to do with anything. So I'll rejoin with the host. See if that can receive. So that's still receiving. So somehow fixing that. What? That was. The thing is, I built the entire client under the assumption that it would always be at the root, and it's just not realistically going to be possible. So it's possible that, like, literally I just missed something stupid. Such as this, for example. Well, this looks like, yeah, okay, this is just about source maps. This shouldn't matter. It's just the source map. Allow. Are the workers running? What in God's name is this? I guess that's the... Okay, those are player worklets. That's fine. That's the actual module. I mean, something didn't load, but I truly have no explanation of what or why. Oh, you know, okay, you know what? I'm going to clear the cache, because it's possible that I, like, got some file with cores protection off and some other file with, you know, any sort of madness is possible. So let me, rather than panicking, let's clear the cache. Not that part, just that part. You know what? Not the last hour. Everything. Okay. So almost certainly some script downloaded without the correct settings. This is bad. So that's still not happening. WebSocket connection refused? Really? That's a somewhat surprising result. Like, I'm obviously not going to have live chat if I don't have the WebSocket. So that needs to be fixed. /r/RT on Wii. Is there something I've forgotten? Is there something I'm missing? I think it literally just has to be there. I don't think there's... Wait, god damn it. I know why. This sucks. Here's why. If this didn't stack with this, then of course this also doesn't stack with that. Man, this duplication is horrendous. I will eventually have to figure out how to do it without this duplication, because this is unacceptable, but For the time being, making it work is more important than making it good, so... Okay, we've got server connections. So other than, like, not finding the thing, so interestingly, the sounds, it's the right directory. They're just not working because I don't have the sounds on this particular system. The source map, that's not a problem. That's irrelevant. But weren't there images that failed to load? Yeah, these. I guess maybe I just didn't have the debug log open while those were failing to load. Whatever. That should be pretty easy. Basically, I'm just going to have to look for anything where I don't have an absolute... Or where I do, sorry, have an absolute path. Damn, I am not hearing myself. I wonder if this is just a playback issue. No, not Gallery Studio. No, not just a playback issue. That's a little bit... No, I know why. I know why. Because the RT on Wii communication is within a process, and they actually, based on the URL you access, they're different processes. So that's actually not necessarily a problem. If I do another... In fact, I'll just do it here. Another one of these. I'll bet these two will be able to communicate, even though the... Yep, I hear myself. Okay, so that's not a problem. The only problem I think I actually see is these absolute URLs, and of course, all of the problems I've already solved. Let me collect a list of... that was the only thing for Nginx. Well, okay, so on Ennuicastr. What branch am I in? Okay, so let's check for absolute URLs. Is there any situation in which this isn't just // isn't just the current directory? No. Whoops. I realize I'm saying no with perhaps more confidence than I should have, but, you know, confidence is my thing. Let me look for the same pattern here. Okay, that's not relevant. Right, this actually is relative, even though it doesn't look supremely relevant. Why is that called temp? At some point, I probably thought that this was going to be temporary. Well, I mean, okay, this URL is in fact temporary, because I just wanted a string. Yeah, I'm not fond of the fact that I named that temp, but I understand why I named that temp. This one is not actually the case I'm looking for. Yeah, this is also actually relative. Okay, I actually did a shockingly good job of making everything relative, considering that I did not try. Mind you, we're still nowhere near done, because after I've gotten it working at that URL, now I need to worry about, like, making it redirect properly, because as you just saw, if I attempt to have connections from both URLs, they won't actually be able to talk to each other. So I need to have the old URL redirect to the new URL, but I still need to share the old URL as like a invite link. So I think the way to do that... Thinking. Well, let's... Okay, wait. One step at a time. I did just fix a problem. Let me see if I did just fix a problem. Okay, so we've got those back. Yep, everything is relative here. Good. And I'm just trying to think, like, what do I actually want this to look like? You know what? I know what I want this to look like. Okay, this is going to be a little bit brutal. So, since r.kahat in this case, or wecat.st, is not going to have the real client on it anymore, what I actually need to do is remove the client from here. Rec here is the recording directory, and it does not actually belong here. This API subdirectory... Oh, yeah, that actually does. This still doesn't belong here, don't get me wrong, but that belongs with the recording server. So what I need to do... Ooh, soundboard. Let me just make sure that sound.jss is not absolute. That is not where... Right, of course, you need to query the server, which means that actually it will be probably here? Yes. Okay, that's absolute. Oopsie poopsie. That one's fine. That one's fine. That one's not. There's also just no reason for that to be absolute. I guess I just felt like it. That one's fine. And we've gone full circle. Okay. I didn't remake after merging anyway, so it's going to remake a few extra steps here. So, getting back to it, here is what I need to do. So this is the actual recording system, and then the rec directory will just be a redirector. Then I just need to add something in the client so that it can know, oh, here's the real base URL rather than your stupid base URL when it's showing like an invite link. Oops, that's not under rec anymore. Interesting that that hasn't been changed, at least not in any substantial way in so long. And it still hasn't, but I think moving it kind of almost counts. Yeah, this is not needed here. Sorry, I was just like, what is going on? Okay, so yes, if there is no query, if there is no query string, we still redirect there. But if there is a query string, the only purpose of this is to redirect you to the new location of the thingy. Interesting. This actually doesn't know the URL Ennuicastr? I'm just concerned because I don't want to plunk /r onto it, given that I have yet another domain. Boy, I really screwed the pooch on this one. I'm testing the on the real Ennuicastr server about what it says there, because I would have expected that to redirect directly to the Ennuicastr server, but maybe it's not. Maybe that's not how it works. Or directly to the, like, yeah, okay. 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 So lobby doesn't even exist anymore. I'm almost positive. So lobbies do exist. They're actually called rooms to the user, but they no longer use a separate URL in this way. So what I'm going to need... Man. Which way do I want it to go? Okay, let me describe to you why this is giving me a headache. So there are now two client URLs because I still want to give URLs that start with wecad.st. I still want to give wecast URLs. And so the question is, do I continue to name this would be wecad.st. Do I continue to name the short thing client that isn't actually where the client lives and thus have to fix one half of the URLs? Or, yeah, do I have to fix one half of the URLs or the other half of the URLs? I'm going to go with the other half. So we're going to, you know what, let me, okay. Let me see whether config.lobby is used anywhere. If it's not, I'm going to get rid of it because I'm very confused. In spite of, this is lobby.config, not config.lobby. Those are fine. So, hoping I'm not showing any private information here. So lobby can just go away. What was client can be like client short, whatever. And then the actual client, in this case, will be kahat.ecastr.com/r. And then I'm going to have to go through every single place where it uses client short or client on both the server and the client and fix them. This is just an example, so it doesn't really matter what's in here. Some of these JavaScript files could theoretically use config.client, so. Yep. Most certainly does. Yeah, so this is just a URL for, like, helping the user. So this is exactly the situation where you want client short. Glad I checked. I'm actually unsure whether anything else is going to use config.client. Other than the actual thing I'm trying to fix, which is the embedded iframe, which is the entire problem storage partitioning is hell. I know that uses it. The hell was that first? Okay, that's a jQuery minimize. Thank you, very helpful. Okay, yeah, I'm getting unrelated config dot such and such. Yeah, Google client ID. Fine. Config Discord client ID. PayPal client ID. Oh. Interesting but correct. Because client short doesn't have any other files in it anymore. It would be on the actual client. Fine. PayPal client ID. PayPal client ID. Yes, again, we're loading script, so that's fine. This is the one that mattered, but this is using config.client, not client short. This is, yeah, loading a script from the client, fine. I was right to do it this way, not the other way. There's like one place that actually uses client short. That's fine. That's not. Yeah, this is a user visible URL. Not really sure why it's not using the same. Oh, it's not using the same because this is client code and the other is server code. Right, of course. Okay, that's taken care of. Again, just using script. Again, yeah, that's just connecting to a script. Google Code Server. Oh, interesting. But that is correct, because the refer for the code server, yes, should be the actual per se client, not the client short name. Okay, so there was only one. Or rather, there were plenty, but there was only one that actually needed to change. The rest were all correct anyway. Don't know why I just opened that and saved it and did nothing. So this isn't going to be true anymore. How I'm actually planning on implementing this. Yeah. Yep. I feel like I missed something. I mean, I know there are steps I haven't done yet, but I feel like there was one of those steps in there that it was like, oh, I needed to do X, but then I forgot about X. Okay, so that's not how that's going to work. Oh, I know what that step was. Let me just save this incomplete, so when I do this link, it'll still be there. Or so that it will be there. Yeah, okay, so now R exists and is the actual recording system. Rec exists and is just that index that redirects you. So the recording system is not actually here right now. It's busted, which is like fine because I haven't actually like this isn't the server. I'm gonna have to be quick to make it's gonna have to be like a flag day on the actual server. Forget whether the query string in fast CGI has the question mark or not. I think actually the place to no. I was about to say the place to check would be Node.js server pages, but it doesn't set the query string. That's just yeah, it just maps it out of the query string. Fast CGI query string. I would bet that it has the question mark. You know what? What you do is make one assumption, test it, and then if you're wrong, fix it. I don't know why I'm complicating this so much. And I think literally nothing else is needed here, yeah. Basically, you redirect to one place or the other, and that's all there is to it. I can even make this a little bit less ridiculous. So if there is a query string, we go to config.client plus params.query string. Otherwise, we go to config.site, which is just the main sort of home page. And then we go like this. Okay. Usually, I don't like having files without their copyright headers, and even for fairly short files, but this is ridiculous. Even with my very short license, it's longer than the program. You know what? No, screw it. Have a license header everywhere. It's not like that's downloaded. Who cares? Okay. So let's think here. It should be at this point that, like, if I click, well, I might have to reload the page, but if I click join here, I should actually go to the new version. But that's not what happened. Wow, no part of that worked. No, wait. No, wait. Yeah, I just relink rec files is separate from the HTML directory, and I just didn't do that. That's this directory. Yeah, which is where, like, everything previously got installed. Let me get the one sort of difficult to replace library. Oh, it's not difficult to replace, it's just, you know, a bit of a pain in the ass. Moved over into the new place. Everything else, I should just be able to delete this. Like so. Okay, this is the place that actually needs web/rec, oops, LinkedIn. And now I get 404. Okay, yeah, there's your query string answer. So you do actually need the question mark. Noted. Web/rec/that. Curious. Oh, right, of course. I put the like index, but I didn't put any of the actual scripts there because this is still linked to the old one. There we go. That should have everything in the right place now. I don't know why I'm testing this all in Firefox. I usually do all of my testing in Chrome. Well, no, that's not true at all. I usually do my sort of basic testing in Chrome and then make sure that I haven't broken Firefox. But this time I seem to be preferring Firefox, which I normally do prefer, but its audio subsystem has never been supremely great. Yeah, so I got a cahat/r URL there, which is the last thing I need to fix. Okay, so I am talking to myself. Good. Let me mark on my one-site fixes. This will actually put in Git. So, in fact, I just need to move that there because the old version is never going to be used now. No, not on the client. In fact, the client is now going to be empty. There's going to be nothing on the client. Oh, well. RT_onWe that, git move, client, that to default, RT_onWe. Which means that yeah, this is simply not needed anymore. And neither is that. That hasn't been needed for a long time. Okay. Last fire to put out, I think. This has gone way too easily if this is the last fire to put out. No, this is not at all the last fire. Well, I don't know. Maybe this is the last fire to put out. So there will be connecting all of the like API services. They need their redirect URLs and such, but that's less of a fire. That's more just a light ember. Okay, I don't want this called API anymore. I want this called config. Git config. I'm just sitting here staring at the word git config like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Ironically, the short is the exact same length as the long in this particular case, but that's just because this is, testing stuff. Oops. Uh, it is perfectly fine to leave that blank. And I don't want that extra cruft in this version. Now, wherever I make the invite link, which I think is just under master. It's unfortunate because there's this config, which doesn't actually have any configuration in it. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. This is the configuration that comes from the URL, and that's like global configuration. So I'm just going to call it global config to hopefully not confuse myself too much. Interesting. Okay. config.json. Alphabetical order. Right, invite. Is it that simple? I think it's that simple. I was about to say I'm unconfused. That's not at all what I wanted to say. I'm confused about why this is a typecast to any. Like, what is this actually? Oh, it's a URL. Let me just two-string it. I think href would actually get the same string, and that's what I tend to use for document.location, but okay, does that make sense? Well, the way I've written this doesn't make any goddamn sense. Question mark goes there, that way it's clear what you're doing, and you haven't hidden the actual behavior. There we go. I think that's right. I don't know why I'm so like, uncertain. Usually I'm not so uncertain about that kind of minor thing, but I think that's right. Oh yeah, of course, I changed that. That's not API anymore. That's under config, which was a sensible place for it anyway. God, I love how fast this testing server is. It only took 20 seconds to compile. It's like living in 1998. Okay, let's see. So if I join here, then probably it did do the redirect there. It's actually a little bit hard to tell. But then if I invite, I do get, that certainly looks like a correct invite link. And if I go like this, yep, that redirected. I am exactly where I belong. Okay. Oh yes, I need to test the file system stuff. That should all work. I don't think that there's actually any real concern about that. That's actually pretty true. Like that's just sort of correct URL, so I don't think that's a real concern. Uh, okay, so I've got more to do with like the Dropbox and Google Drive, the redirect URIs and that kind of stuff. But I think that the biggest fires are put out, and probably tomorrow sometime I will push through the rest of the change. Mm, yeah. Yep. That was a mistake. Glad I noticed it. Okay. Much panic is past. I think tomorrow I'll probably make this work. Probably, honestly, not on stream. I just have like API redirect URIs and that kind of crap to fix. And then it's Flag Day. Flag Day is always terrifying. Womp womp. Flag Day is probably tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. Ooh, stream over.